Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Okay, there. I was wondering, Durga ji. I was waiting for Durga only. Mabuhay, Dr. Joel.
Mabuhay, ma'am.
Mabuhay, how are you?
Good
Kumusta
day to
ka?
everyone. I'm good. Actually, I'm here for about 30 minutes now, waiting for our talk. So I'm so excited.
Oh, okay. It's exactly 6 p.m. here.
Okay.
What's the time in Philippines?
8:30 here in the Philippines. 8:30.
Oh, 8:30. Oh, okay. Wonderful, wonderful.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow. So how is it in the Philippines? All well, the situation?
Yes, in our part, because I am in the province. So the casualties is not that high, but in Manila, there is a broad increase of the COVID-19. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just heard in the news that for this day, the number affected was 12,000. So that's so sad.
Yeah, it is sad. I mean, I don't know. Things are a little strange all over the world. And I think all of us have to be very, very strong from within and just have to follow precautions and everything and just move on. Life is going on. And at least, we're all able to connect now, thanks to the digital platform that we are in now. So,
yes.
So
we're just
yes.
going to look at the positive side.
Yeah, that is it.
Just look at the positive side.
Yes, we're trying to look at the positive side only. I think that's the only way we can move on. And after all, it's the survival of the fittest. So
Yes.
everyone, thank you for joining. Others might join in a little while, but we need to start. And welcome to the Wireless Connect. This is Chilparco International's monthly initiative. And this time we're doing it a little differently. 11 days, 11 expert speakers from all over the globe talking on topics of global, educational, social, technological, scientific relevance. And we have Dr. Joel M. Fontanilla from the Philippines. Philippines, incidentally, happens to be my favorite place because I actually studied in the Philippines for almost 4.5 to 5 years because of my father's diplomatic career.
Oh,
so I was there.
That's great.
Yes, I was there in Manila only. And that is why I learned Tagalog. I don't know it as fluently, but try to converse with little bit I know.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think the host for the evening is my charming friend, who is a vice principal of a CBSE school in South India. She is the beautiful Durga K. Nair, and she will be hosting it from here. So Durga ji, it's over to you now.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for a wonderful intro about myself. I'm really happy to connect here. And let me start, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Yeah, the Wireless Connect. It is a scintillating initiation by Madam Alka Mahajit, the founder and CEO of Chilparco International. Here I would like to quote her with a small wording. So, hardship prepare ordinary people to extraordinary person in destiny. And so Madam Alka is shining like star everywhere nowadays. I am really feeling happy and blessed to connect with her as an editorial committee member of Chilparco International. Thanks a lot, madam. It's really my immense pleasure to be here. Amidst this mesmerizing moment, I forgot to introduce the eminent speaker of today's episode. This is an 11-day series of expert talks, and today is the 7th episode of that. Now we are going to intervene about an amazing topic, modifying educational approach, a challenge in the new normal, by one of the eminent international speaker of education sector. He is none other than that, Dr. Joel Fontanillo, who is the world's largest archipelago nation, the Philippines. He is from there. So I'm really happy to introduce you over to the crowd. Welcome, sir. And lot many words and introduction subjects are
Thank you
there
so
about him.
much. All right.
He is a lecturer come speaker in Benigno V. Aldan National High School, Philippines, and also a well-known language teacher in a public school. He is also an author of an amazing book. He is a graduate of Doctor of Education and Doctor of Ministry in Education. And now here are some of his achievements. He is an outstanding secondary teacher awardee. He is an international presenter. He is a recipient of Innovative Teacher of the Year. He is also the Best Demo Teacher awardee. He is the Hall of Fame recipient, an author, and he is also a messenger of Peace Education awardee. Sir, it's really gasping for me to give a lot many introduction about you. It's really happy to give away these kind of words. Happy to be here and happy to welcome from my side and also on behalf of Chilparco team. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, yes, you are.
Hello.
I think some interruptions are there.
Okay. I think
I'm not getting clear.
now there is an, I think there is a lag now. Dr. Joel, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, doctor. I can hear
Yes.
you.
All right. So I think, but let's begin with your presentation. I think there is some lag today in the network.
Yes. So can I start now?
Yes,
So-
yes, please.
We are awaiting for your wonderful presentation, sir.
Again, good day, everyone. Mabuhay from Philippines. And before anything else, I would like to thank you to Dr. Alka for having me here. The momentous celebration of culture and benchmarking when it comes to education. This is my first to my 4 speaking international engagement this month, and I am very happy to be part of this discussion. Now, allow me now to share my presentation.
Okay, just a moment.
Oh,
Yes, you may. Yes, yes.
all right. Can you see it now?
Not yet, not yet.
All right. Just give me a cue, ma'am. All right. Can you see it
Yes, now we can. Yes.
All right.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you so much. The diversity of learners in terms of academic performance and the paradigm shift of educational system is now appended with diverse the status and abilities to sustain education amid the pandemic. It is correct that education system here and abroad took a heavy beating from the COVID-19 pandemic. And while we often hear of students and parents struggles with online learning, teachers have their fair share of challenges as well. In the Philippines, we embrace K to 12. But before that, we do what we call BEC, or the Basic Education Curriculum. Today, we have K to 12. The education starts from Kinder 1 to grade 12 of the senior high school. Because of the pandemic that we are facing right now, the Department of Education here in the Philippines promote Basic Education Continuity Plan. The Department of Education's major response and commitment in protecting the health, safety, and well-being of learners, teachers, and personnel. The BELCP aims to provide quality distance learning with the use of self-learning modules in digital and printed form. It could be in radio, television, and internet. In our school, sad to say, we don't have face-to-face. So we are using the modular type of learning. We call it SLM, or the self-learning modules. We are conceptualizing the lesson, print it, and then we give that to the students. But the students are not allowed to go to the school, only the parents. So there are a lot of adjustment when it comes to the pandemic. And let's start with this one. What is the modifying approach in education? The educational approach, educational strategy, or the educational curriculum? The change in way in which curriculum is defined and technology is used because of the paradigm shift. First, we have the traditional way of delivering our lesson. We call it traditional. So in our time, since we are born in the 70s, 80s, or 90s, when we go to the public schools, our teacher usually do the traditional way. If they were going to discuss, they just use the board, and then they just going to ask the question. And after that, they will give quiz, right? But in modifying the educational approach, this is actually happening now. We are using different technologies such as laptop and different gadgets for the delivery of the education to the learners. Next question. What is the paradigm in education? It is the framework of key provisions and ideas which are acknowledged by the pedagogical public during the concrete time period. Now, we have 6 education paradigm. First, behaviorism. Second, cognitivism. Third, constructivism. Fourth, socio-cultural. Fifth, humanism. And the last one is transformative. Here is the traditional education framework. As I said a while ago, the teacher prepares her or his lesson, and then the teacher will lecture or will teach the children using the board, and then the student will listen to the teacher as well. And then after the class, the teacher will give assigned task or quiz or an assignment. The student will finish their task in the period of time, and then they are going to pass the result to the teacher. So this is a traditional way. And tomorrow, that framework will going to repeat it again. Meanwhile, when we say modern educational framework, all right, using the education technologies, modern technology. significance of transformation used in school, both strategies for lifelong learners. When you say 21st century, it's not just using the different gadgets, the different using the mobile or whatsoever, but it is more on the impact in the curriculum to be said that is in 21st century. It should be connected globally, all right? So in the education technologies, we have teaching and learning models. What are the challenges of education in the new normal? A different preparation. Before the pandemic comes, we usually prepare our lesson plan, preparing our visual aids, using the visual aids or preparing the PowerPoint presentation for our students. But during this time of pandemic, we have a lot of preparations. First, we do have what we call the weekly home daily plan, everyday plan. And then, of course, we do have also, we are making video lesson for our student and then send it to their messengers or the different platform that they can use for the continuation of their learning. In our school, we have what we call retrieval and distribution of modules. The parents are given schedule for giving or for passing the modules of their children. But of course, the preparation would be how to evaluate or give the assessment to each of our students. So that is a very hard preparation because we have to consider the different learning styles, the different learning capability of a certain student or a certain learner. Challenging conduct of classes. Using the laptop or using the social media as platform or using the different technologies, it is quite different because you cannot even know how the student will behave or will act or will do his behavior in front of the camera. So it's very different from face to face, right? So sometimes the student won't open the camera of her or his laptop because of the bandwidth or the problem of the internet. But the question there is he or he really learns or really there, to hear, to see you teach and deliver the lesson. So it's very, very challenging on the part of the teacher. As I said, the internet issue. Not all parents in the Philippines has the ability or capacity to have their own internet. Some students are very hard to have their own mobiles. So the remedy for this, the intervention that we are doing is giving them modules, printed modules. And aside from that, we do have also what we call DepEd TV, wherein we send lessons from the TV so that they can watch. If they do not have TV, we do have, of course, the radio. The radio are, some of the households have their own radio, and all we deliver also the different learning that they have to to acquire or to learn. So there are a lot of ways, positive ways, in order for us teacher to deliver education, quality education. Shift in evaluating students' learning. In the traditional way, we usually have, for example, we give task papers and evaluation paper for them to answer, and then they will give it to us. But for now, because of the health restriction and because of the risk of having been affected with this COVID-19, we usually have used the different technologies such as Google Form. So the evaluation or the assessment is in Google Form. So they are going to answer there the different questions that we provide, and of course we can also use a messenger. You can screenshot the questions and then you can send them to them. That is the practical way for us not to infect. But the question there is, what if the student doesn't have cell phones, doesn't have mobiles, doesn't have laptop, and everything about modern technologies? Sometimes we need to make follow-ups. The intervention that we do is we do the home visitation. In doing the home visitation, we really observe health protocol. Usually, we do have, we have to wear mask, we have to wear face shield for us to be protected. The teachers are very loving to their students, and they will do anything to provide quality education. They will do any intervention that my student can use for them to learn. That is how important education is. Managing virtual classroom behavior, just like I said a while ago, right? So sometimes you cannot even motivate the child to listen for you for 30 minutes because they just going to look at you in the screen. And sometimes the teacher, lack of strategies, because of lack of strategies and motivation for the children, they might get bored, they might get lazy for listening and watching to your lesson. So it is very challenging for us to manage the behavior of the learner in front of the screen. Hopes for the new normal. When we finally get back to normal living and to education, we like to see, number one, continued curricular flexibility and resources to individual for learners based on their needs, interests, and situation. The question, how we motivate the learners in front of the screen of the laptop. You can do something to know the things that they are interested with and the different intervention for every learner, because we believe that learners have their own learning styles. Number two, recognition that different environments in person or in virtual have strength and limitation, that each student can have access to their own learning styles. As I said a while ago, not all students have the excuse me, have the ability or capability to have cell phones or gadget. Excuse me. So we usually do modular way in giving them the lesson. Number three, realization without question. The quality preparation demands time. Excuse me. And that will receive the teacher work day to include actual, meaningful, and significant collaboration and innovation for education. So when we talk about innovation, it really gives time, skills, and talent to do a material for your student to have what we call learning. Teaching approach or method. First, we have what we call teacher-centered, traditional. The teacher is in front of the pupils, they give tests, they lecture, they drill, and everything. How about student-centered approach to learning? It should be flexible. Why? Because we should know the different learning styles of the students. Because a single strategy doesn't mean that all students can relay or can have the ability to learn from that single strategy. So you should think flexible enough to think different strategies for different learners. Using the technology, skills development, commitment, collaboration. Collaboration is very important. Collaborating with the parents, collaborating with the community on how that the student will develop a good development in time when they grow up. High-tech approach to learning. Use the flipped classroom, inquiry-based learning, what is game-based learning, and personalized learning. So as I said a while ago, one of the strategies for our students not to be bored is that you inculcate or you put games on a different lesson before the discussion. Because as we all know, kids right now are the big interest, the huge interest for games using their gadgets, using their laptops. So why be it a motivation for you to create strategy for them to put to have their attention for you to listen, right? Of course, they are paying, but they are learning. Don't take approach to learning. We have direct instruction, kinesthetic learning, differentiated instruction, and the last one is expeditionary learning. All right, so let's explain one by one. When we say direct instruction, first example of that is making announcement, all right? Or give the written lecture to the student, all right? So when we say kinesthetic learning, example of this is that hands-on learning, okay? So more on physical, more on experimental, right? So next is differentiated instruction, using the different reading materials, right? Using the different platform in delivering the lesson. It's more differentiated. The last one is expeditionary learning. Students learn by conducting learning expeditions, but as of now, this is not quite good because you cannot go somewhere just to learn, just to have the learning for your students because it's very dangerous. There are a lot of limitations. 5 common problems faced by students in e-learning. Adaptability struggles. As I said a while ago, not all students have the skills or have the capability to have their own gadgets or laptops. So you have to wait for the time that they will adopt the interest or motivating them to adopt to use the different platform. Technical issues. Yes, they have gadgets. Sometimes we are facing technical issues, like for example, low internet, right? Or I doesn't have the chance to have the advancement of his or her thing that he or she is using for learning. Computer literacy. Not all students have the literacy to use computer, and also with the parents, and also with some of the teachers. Time management. Because of this pandemic, we have a lot of sacrifices. We should give ourselves we should give ourselves time management, religiously creating your time management in, for example, dealing with your family, dealing with your students, dealing with your co-workers. All right. Self-motivation. It's very hard to motivate learners now as of today, as of this pandemic, because they really have the huge interest in Mobile Legends, in gaming. So how can you quote the attention for you to be for you as a teacher, and you will tell to yourself that you are efficient enough to deliver the lesson or to continue the education of your student. So think different strategies. There are a lot. Just think new normal. All right. In interactive platforms, we have two: problem-based learning and project-based learning. Students learn about topics through solving problems. That is problem-based learning. Project-based is acquire deeper knowledge through active exploration of the real world. In the Montessori school, when I was a teacher there, we have what we call practical or practical subject, wherein we let the student cut the oranges, how to make a bread, of course guided, for them to realize that is life. Even though they are children, they are starting seeing what life is for, being independent, right? Number two, facilitate discussions and collaboration. Collaboration is very important, I believe in that, because just like we are having right now, we are collaborating culture and education benchmark, right? So in the different speakers, in different people, we learn from each other. And the most important there is globally connected with each other. That is very advanced for us teachers. Next, make time for social emotional learning. Supporting group to accomplish common self-awareness, self-control, and interpersonal skills. All right, no. So it is very important for us to have a healthy lifestyle as a teacher. Why? Because we are the bridge for the great opportunity for our student to grab their dreams. Because without bridge, how they can cross to have their dreams and goals in life. Be available and flexible. As I said a while ago, think more and work more. In thinking more, you can think a lot of strategies that can be used during this time of pandemic. Do not just stay in the four corners of your classroom. Be flexible. Think. Because I believe in different learning. All. Prioritize your own self-care. Taking action to preserve, to improve one's health, because health is wealth. As I repeat, health is wealth. All right. So if we are healthy, our mind is healthy, our body is healthy, and our goal is healthy for our children. And that is very important. Remember, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world, according to Nelson Mandela. Thank you very much. I'm Dr. Joel Fontanilla from the Philippines.
Thank you so much, sir, for presenting an insightful presentation. Really, it was an eye-opener for all of us.
Sorry for my voice.
Yes, it's not an issue.
Oh, please look after yourself. That is important. Because health is wealth.
Yes. Because we don't have face-to-face, and my voice is just rest for a long time, and then I just to have this discussion.
Durgaji, you were saying something.
Yeah. So I have some questions. So can you please explain something about SLM, which you had given at the point?
Is excellent for
SLM.
Pardon?
SLM.
Being excellent.
SLM, sir. You had given a point on SLM.
Just spell it out, Durgaji. Please spell it out for
Excellent.
SLM. Self-learning.
Oh, right. So the SLM, the self-learning modules. Yeah. All right. In our school, we do have different kinds of modules. It depends upon the quarter. So we have first quarter, second to fourth quarter, and we give the lesson through modules, and they are going to learn by themselves, because we are not there to to explain. We're not there to give instruction, but they have to learn for themselves. And of course, for others, especially for the young children, the parents are there to guide them. The parents are there to support them in their studies. So we believe that the collaboration of the teacher and the parent is very important from nowadays, because I believe that education should not stop because of this pandemic.
So one more thing, I have a doubt in that. So I thought this is the correct time to ask whether the evaluation part during the assessment, whether it is completely accomplished, sir?
Yes.
During this pandemic days.
During this pandemic, we have different kinds of assessment depending upon the needs of the learners, because as I said a while ago, we have different learning styles, right? So for them to guide, if they got failed, for example, because not all students really got a high grade, if they failed, we are going to have again to make another evaluation, much easier for them to understand the lesson. And that from that point, we are going to assess them whether they have something to learn for us. So different assessment and different evaluations from the different learning styles is provided.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
So whether there is any tool to inculcate students' handwriting as good, because when they were
There's a lag.
Okay, so aside from the assessment that we are giving to them, a constant communication for the parents and for the learners also by using the different platforms such as Messenger. We use Messenger, or we use also Google Meet to meet them personally, because face-to-face is not allowed in our school. So for that constant communication, constant follow-ups, they will learn something even though we are not seeing each other in person. So we have a lot of things to, do and think. And I think pandemic is not the hindrance for education to be stopped, because as I experience, I have one student who really doesn't have to, pass all the modules that he has. So I need to talk to him or to the parents or to the guardian. But the problem is they don't have laptop, they don't have cell phone. So I took the risk to go to have home visitation. But of course, as I said, we have to equip and follow the health protocol. So that's it, because I don't want to have a student to be failed or to fail because there is no intervention. Learning and studying the different history of the different children or students is very important. Knowing or asking the question why they didn't even give the modules. So you have to trace the reason why. So constant communication would be the best weapon for me to make follow-ups and to give intervention to my student.
That was very well said and very effective indeed. Very impressive, Dr. Joel. Kamanga Manga, if I've got my Filipino Tagalog right. And a big salamat. Salamat indeed.
Maraming salamat.
That's okay. Despite the technical glitches, we enjoyed your presentation immensely. And all of us, the ones who are here, really benefited. And this is going to go on YouTube. So I'm sure the ones who missed out will definitely have a look about all this presentation there. I'll share the link with you as well. So thank you once again, Paalam, and thank you everyone for joining in. Thank you. Big salamat from India to Philippines to Dr. Joel. Thank you so much, and thank you everyone. Thank you, Dhira, Shiva, Durga ji.
Thank you.
You were wonderful, Durga.
Thank you so much, sir.
You were fantastic. Minmaya, Minmaya from Nepal.
Thank you. I got some technical issues, ma'am.
I know. All of us are getting it.
Thank you, ma'am.
It's okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Rachna, for joining. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. Yeah, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.